About a month ago, I was sitting at a school PC, bored as hell, so I searched up IO games. Just like 7 years ago, it's the same selection of games. Agario, Deep.io, Creature.io and Mope.io. So that got me wondering, I can just make a platform for IO games and then use my influence to magically spawn new games. IO games are a genre of browser-based multiplayer games, usually fake multiplayer, that started in 2015 with Agario and has been on a decline ever since the pandemic. Now let's revive it. Since I'm tired of the same corporate slop design with rounded corners and all that, I pulled up my whiteboard and started gathering inspiration. Look bro, I'm that guy that was playing Roblox in 2017 on library PCs bro. Superhero training simulator bro. I got hours in that shit bro. This login screen means a lot to me bro. If I had to summarize it 2006 to 2010 in terms of design, it would be gradients, useless navigation buttons, useless buttons, gradients, style inconsistencies, and gradients. Good god, these fuckers like gradients. I bought the domain gamplo.com because gam from game and plo from play, and it sounds like Roblox, so logically I used Roblox for logo inspiration alongside Mario 64. And kaboom, here's the logo. Then I designed a mock-up of how I want the site to look and did some tricks with my knife until it turned into reality. We are not in a power crisis, so I made the colors brighter and created the login screen. Now I don't want this to just be a site for hosting games. I want it to be a hub for socialization as well. So games hosted on the platform can give achievements, see the player's profile picture or name, and save our progress on our server so it persists between devices. Around this time I realized that I'm going to need some games published before the platform itself releases. So I gathered 20 talented developers, and while they work in the mines for the FaceDev corporation in Estonia, I straight up copied Steam's design for the game page. Whoops. Hey man, they have some good buttons and layouts. The game page has the first section which describes the game, then the game description with some information on the side, and reviews at the bottom. Games can also modify their page color, create achievements, and write changelogs with Markdown. The changelogs appear on your game's page where users can upvote or downvote them. I am a data nerd, so obviously I had to include the stats tab. It tells you how many plays your game got, how many had an account and how many were guests, because yes, you can play the site without an account, average session, total playtime, and some graphs. Data is fun, and so is Scrimba. Scrimba is a coding platform where instead of watching somebody code in a video and then scrambling to copy it to your own editor like a crazy person, the editor is just inside the video. You're editing the teacher's code right there in your browser. The whole learning process is hands-on and project-based, meaning you walk away with coding muscle memory, real projects for your portfolio, and certificates to show for it. The front-end career path is built in partnership with Mozilla MDN, so the people who actually wrote the documentation for the web are teaching you the web. Most recently, they expanded from just front-end to offer a full-stack developer path, with over 100 hours covering Node, Next.js, SQL, Express, and more. And another one for back-end development and even AI engineering. So whatever your career goal, they'll have something for you. Pricing is also adjusted per region, so it's super affordable wherever you live. All their paths are aimed at making you a hireable dev within 3 to 6 months. Plus around 30% of the courses are totally free, so you don't even have to commit to anything to start poking around. If building stuff like this is something you actually want to do, scan the QR code on screen or hit the link in the description for an extra 20% off their pro plan. And start building instead of just thinking about it. Thanks to Scrimba for sponsoring this video. I bought an asset pack for avatar decorations, made some gradients for nameplate colors, and baby, we got Roblox! I mean blips. Just like Roblox is now removed tigs, you get blips for logging in daily, and you can also buy them in the shop which supports me. Kawaii. I have no idea how I made this weird gradient, but it looks good, so it goes on the profile page. The page shows stats, achievements, friends, and your most played games. No, you're not a connection. No, you're not a user. You're a friend. I added friend requests. Friends can see when you are online, get a notification for when you join a game, and help curate your recommendations with the friends are playing section and the pop-up that shows which friends played the game you're on. I remember this meme from a few years ago with somebody playing Steam in North Korea, which got me wondering, where the fuck is this player activity map from? Apparently it's a native Steam feature, and I really like it, so... Now, I'm not gonna sit here and map out all the country borders. So if you see somebody playing in the ocean, yeah, they're probably a fish. And for the last time, the dot position is randomized within the country. I display your country, not your city. I'm not that dumb. I'm not a big fan of forums, but I still added them since there's no way of communicating with somebody on the platform. If they look old, It's because they are. I use the Roblox 2012 forums as inspiration. There's 6 forums, each one can have a thread, and threads can have posts which can be downvoted or upvoted. Now it's time to craft the algorithm. The algorithm for something like Steam is pretty simple. You just promote whatever makes the most money. But since this project is free browser games, we have to use our brains a little more. I'm not gonna get too nerdy, so I'm just gonna say, make the game fun and it's probably gonna get recommended. The login page felt empty, so I commissioned my friend to draw a background. Since I really like the Steam Happy mode, we also got Gamplo Happy, Gamplo Cute, Gamplo Sad and Gamplo Cry. You can use them in reviews, profile, bio and forum posts. Now it's finally time to launch the platform.
一体誰がこんなことしたんだ？
あんだよバカ。
シーサーフ？お前にできるわけないだろ。
そうだよ、このおバカ野郎。お前のその救いようのない間抜けさのせいで。
Wow. Yeah, so this is called cross-site request forgery, CSRF for short. It's a web security attack that tricks a user's browser into performing an unauthorized state-changing action on a trusted application. Yeah, so a game would be probably able to set your name and profile picture to Kanye, write a review for itself and delete its account all in 0.5 seconds. In theory, of course, this never happened actually. So I just moved the games to games.campo.com. The cookies are isolated on that domain and games can no longer LARP as being you. Now it's time for a game jam. Which, in case you're not aware, is a competition where people create games from scratch within like 48 hours under a theme. The theme for this jam was unexpected. It ran over the weekend and I'm the one rating them. The last time I scared an angel is one of the most annoying, desk-breaking games I've played. You play as a brave creature on his journey to challenge the angel that has been harassing his peers. For every move that might seem obvious, the game tries to make you lose. The third level is one of the most annoying ones. You start by moving towards the spikes, which disappear, then a cube falls, a split second after the spheres appear. So you jump onto the cube, which brings up this platform, spikes appear on the B cube, but if you jump, spikes appear on the platform. So first you have to bait the spikes on the platform, then jump back on the platform, except the platform then baits you by moving forward. I'm not gonna spoil the entire game, there's also some lore. 6 years after the great battles, they launched a crypto pump and dump, amassing over 10 million USD passed away on their private island due to an overdosage of cocaine. Wow. It goes in S tier. Super Justin World 2 is certainly a game. We started the school as Justin, who is probably a teacher. The soundtrack is truly mesmerizing.
Justin.
You're then explaining the objective, which is to choose the student with the correct answer under 10 seconds and then do some activity with the kids. After you score high enough, you go on a field trip to a factory. As you are driving, the boss comes trying to stop the field trip.
He's trying to stop this field trip.
You're now playing a minigame where you have to avoid cars on the road while the boss is chasing you. After you make it, you start the confrontation chapter. Justin exhales, thinking it's over. Then unsurprisingly, the boss appears too. The boss menacingly laughs as he starts dropping shit and light beams while you, playing as Justin, start dancing and try avoiding it as you shoot the boss. There's a chapter 2 as well, I'm not gonna spoil the entire game, yada yada. A tier, certainly unexpected, and I think one review described it best. Just like all art, it requires intoxication to enjoy. Salmon is a speedrunning game where you play as a salmon. You have to flop on buildings until you finish the level. Holding the mouse button charges your force bar, which determines how much you flop in the right direction. Same for the right button, except you go in the left direction. You can also wall jump, for some reason. The game is, just like the last time I scared an angel, pretty much a rage game. The levels are greatly designed, the camera motion is awesome, the music fits really well, and there's leaderboards. There's just not much to say, the game was just great. Art is art, S tier. Toro Horses is a game where you catch horses, breed them, sell them on the black market while they get inhumanely tortured and butchered while alive and they beg you for help before you do it. Why is this game trying to do some manipulation on me, bro? I don't care about horses, kill him! Get him out! Yes, harvest! Shot that boy! And you use your fastest horse in a race where you bet money. Ah yes, it all comes down to gambling. I started with a 1-star speed horse and tried to catch more, sell them to get money for breeding and try achieving the perfect genetic horse so I can win in races. Overall it was pretty fun doing questionable stuff with horses. B tier. We also have games that were made before the jam, like No My.O, which is an Agario clone, Shape Wars, which is a Vampire Survivors-like, Nick Cage Tower Defense, where you place Nicolas Cages to defend your tower against broccoli. Pop-Up Chaos has you try closing and solving all the pop-ups as fast as possible to avoid losing your health, the goal being closing as many pop-ups as possible. Anyway, those were some of the more interesting games on the platform. This was fun to make, go play Gamplo for free at gamplo.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you in the next one.
Dubai chocolate matcha la boo boo. La boo boo.